वी हैव द ऑनर हमारे साथ मैम हेनरी डिफ्रेज मौजूद हैं जो कि एम्बेसडर हैं नीदरलैंड्स की पाकिस्तान के अंदर. शी हैड अ पर्सनल विजिट टू लाहौर, सो हमने सोचा कि क्यों ना हम इनको स्टूडियोज़ में बुलाएं और इनसे पाकिस्तान नीदरलैंड रिलेशनशिप को लेकर भी बात करें और मज़ीद जाने कि आगे क्या एवेन्यूज़ हैं जिस पे दोनों ममालिक काम कर सकते हैं. सो लेट मी हैव द ऑनर टू वेलकम मैम हेनरी. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस एक्सीलेंसी. बहुत शुक्रिया. थैंक यू आप तशरीफ लाएं.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's really wonderful to be in your show today and to have this talk together.
It's an honor. How's Lahore treating you so far?
Very well, actually. We had very interesting discussions with several partners, also from the government, from NGOs, from business, of course, because there's a lot of dairy business persons we met. So it was really very interesting so far.
So since it's been 75 years, I was just reading some very important points between Pakistan and Netherlands. They are very important countries for each other. You've been here for last almost 9-10 months. How's your experience so far working in embassy here in Islamabad in Pakistan?
Now, there are a lot of opportunities, like you already indicate. I mean, we have very strong trade relations. Pakistan is for the Netherlands the sixth non-European trade partner. Netherlands is for Pakistan the fifth trade partner. We have, of course, a gateway. Netherlands is a very small country, but we're a gateway for Europe. So a lot of goods come through our country, are exported also out of our country. But, and so far it has been very interesting to get to know your country, which is at best sometimes a little bit difficult, confusing, because many things are happening.
Yes.
And in the beginning I had to say I thought I would really start especially to work on economic development, but when I came here and the floods were there, so the first thing I started to work on was humanitarian support for the flood victims, and we also, on request of the Pakistani authorities, we of course started with a group of experts on water management.
That's very great.
So, and that we're still working on together.
So
with,
it is kind of very old relation or a kind of contact between these two countries, as you told about the water. You got your degree in economic and geography management, and then you've been doing the same job in somehow you have worked on it in Bangladesh as well in different countries. So what is the basic difference that you find between Pakistan and all those countries, and what things can be done to improve when we talk about basic these all basic things in Pakistan?
Now, I think Pakistan is, of course, quite a big country with a huge population. My previous country I served was Mozambique, 30 million people.
Yeah.
That's a different scale, of course. So the scale is very different in Pakistan. Also, sometimes you feel that Pakistan has, of course, different provinces, and they are all quite different in dynamics, even in culture. So you feel like, of course, it's one country.
Yeah.
And that's of course clear to everybody, but you also have to understand that differences, that the different provinces have different problems, you have to find different solutions. At the same time, in water management, for example, they all have to work together.
This is one of the biggest problems that we have nowadays.
Yeah, you have to work with the federal government as well as the provincial governments, and we try, we are working in a platform with them to identify how we can resolve these water issues, for example. The difference with Bangladesh, for example, is, it's a much smaller country, so more easier to some extent, some way more easier to work with. And with water management, with Bangladesh, we had already for 50 years a relationship. Pakistan, we're now starting, so it's more building up certain things. So in trade, we have a very long relationship with your country for now hundreds of years, actually.
Yeah. True.
So, so that is something you just continue to work on, and that's amazing to see. But in water management, we're still, trying to identify what's best to do and how to do that.
True.
That's amazing. Right. As we mentioned that Netherlands and Pakistan are celebrating 75 years of bilateral relationship. So celebrations are going on and so on. So how do you plan to celebrate this hallmark of 75 years?
Right. Now, we started with a tulip garden. Of course, we're famous for tulips. So in Def 9 Park in Islamabad, we had a beautiful exhibition with tulips.
Great. Wow.
And the tulips were produced in Pakistan.
Oh, that's amazing.
Really, they came from the north, so that is
Wow.
also very nice. So a Pakistani product
Yeah.
with something that
So there's
with a
something you can
flower
actually
flavor.
relate between these two
that
countries.
was so we immediately had that relationship. We combined it with an exhibition on floods
Okay.
globally to show climate change, and that globally there are a lot of problems with water. So a Dutch photographer was also, we had this exhibition also very nice. We're going to do a huge celebration in July, a very big reception. We are closely working with the Pakistani embassy in The Hague.
Okay.
They also did an art exhibition. We're trying to do, one of the themes is climate change this year
Yes.
for
Okay.
us, because it's something, after the floods,
Yes.
especially for you, of course, it's a big
Yeah.
topic also in the Netherlands, because we're fighting against water, as you
True,
might
true.
know, because my country 2/3 is below sea level, so if the sea level rises, we will disappear. So we have, that's why we have so much expertise in that area. But so from both sides, we do small things like art exhibitions, receptions, all kind of things.
So as you have mentioned this climate change phenomenon, Pakistan is one of the countries which faces actually a lot of problems because of the countries who are actually reason to cause. Pakistan is not actually causing the carbon emission, but we are facing the floods and flash floods and so many things. So how you see the role of all these developed countries, in particular the European countries, to support countries like Pakistan, because we are somehow in a great trouble seeing all this. We may be contributing no more than 1 or 2%, but we are facing more than like 100% in terms of the disasters. How you see this?
Now, look, climate change and the global problems it's causing is a joint responsibility.
Yes.
And the European countries have to take their responsibility to that respect. And I think we do. We honestly do. Of course, we are working very much on reducing our emission of CO2 and other substances. But that won't solve your problem at the moment. You're now faced with the direct consequences of our development, you could say. So we on the one hand, we have to stimulate a different way of using energy resources, fossil fuels, etc. On the other hand, we have to support you to find solutions to deal with the climate change. And that's also why I felt it was so important on water management, where we have such a huge expertise, that we really work with you and help you wherever we can to this respect. So I think we cannot deny that it's to the benefit of all of us, of the whole
Yes.
world, to help Pakistan also to deal with
Right,
this.
yeah.
None of us want the glaciers to disappear
True.
in the Himalayas.
yeah.
I mean, this is a kind of legacy to the world.
True,
It's
true.
beautiful.
True.
We need it also. And so all of us, none of us want 33 million people being affected in the south of Pakistan. So we have to stand together and to solve these global challenges together. So there's a huge responsibility on the shoulders
True.
of
That's
countries in Europe. But I would say worldwide, everybody has to join hands to solve
Right.
this.
Solve this, absolutely. Since talking about your time in Pakistan, let's talk about how much you have loved Pakistani cuisine, because Pakistan has rich cuisines. So I really want to know what's your favorite food. And since you are vegetarian, as per our information, how come you manage
Not eating
not
biryani
eating meat
chicken
and all that?
and barbecues.
So there's a lot of difference between your taste. I like being a vegetarian. It's totally a different thing. So how come you manage that?
I think people are, first of all, I already mentioned hospitality.
Yeah.
That also means that people are adjusting when I tell, because I always tell in advance. Look,
Yeah.
if I come somewhere and I haven't told people I'm a vegetarian and they serve me meat,
Yeah.
I think I will eat the meat.
You
Because
eat-
I will not offend people by
Okay.
not
That's a
taking
very
that food.
kind gesture, I must say.
No, I don't know. I think because if you don't tell people, how can you expect people to respect your diet?
So have
I
you got
mean,
a chance so far to eat something like?
and I eat a lot. I eat a lot of
Have you-
palak paneer, for example.
Have you tried nihari? Have
Yeah,
you
yeah. So there are many things I
Oh,
do
that's nice.
eat. But they adjust. And I do eat fish also at
Oh,
times.
lovely.
So that also,
So if
this is
the-
not really a fish culture.
If you ever get a
It's
chance sometimes to go to Gwadar, do try the fish over there. I think
Yeah,
you will-
I think I should go to Gwadar if it
that'll
only
be
was
amazing
for the fish.
experience. I tell you, you will love
Yeah.
it. It is to visit in when we talk about the mountain tourism and outdoor tourism. I've seen many of your countrymen and women coming to Pakistan and exploring things, but we still see. I think there's a huge potential then of the people who come. What can be the options to explore and to increase this particular phenomenon?
Yeah, I think more promotion. Many people are not aware that the north of Pakistan, I have not been there myself yet. I will go the end of July.
No.
But, and I like hiking.
By the way,
I
that's
like
the best season to go, by the way.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was told.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going also then, but with my husband. But I think people are simply not aware that it's spectacular. If I see the photo books, if I hear stories from others, yeah, it's very special. And I think you should cherish that. So it's something to promote. I would also say promote it in a careful way. Because you see also in the Netherlands, we had a flooding of tourists in Amsterdam, for example.
Yes.
So now one of our policies is to distribute tourists more across the country.
Okay.
Because if you have too many tourists, it becomes too crowded. It's no longer very nice to visit a museum, for example, if you're standing in front of a painting and there are 10 people in front of you, and you cannot even see what's on that painting.
True.
So I think you have a country where you have the sea, you have a beautiful coastline,
Yeah.
long coastline, then you have the
Mountains.
mountains.
Yeah.
Now those are things most people love. So I think you have a lot of potential to stimulate tourism, much more actually than the Netherlands. We
That's
don't have these spectacular things.
Talking about your experience regarding development, since you are working on that as well, we really want to know what do you think, and have you observed that there are a lot of issues regarding development in Pakistan, and what's the most pressing?
To all. And of course you have a huge group of people well educated, but there are also people who are still lagging behind.
Yeah.
So I think because you have a very young population, so that needs to be a skilled population. And that will give you an enormous advantage in growth, in economic growth for the coming years. I think you are aware that the population in Europe is aging.
Yes.
So we have a very aged population and we lack skills, we lack young people to work, so we really struggle. And I think you have the advantage of having this 60% of the population being young,
True.
being able to carry the country forward. So I see a great potential there as long as they are well educated, because you need skills. That doesn't mean that everybody has to go to university, not at all.
Skill-based
Preferably
education.
not, but really vocational training. That those things need to be encouraged further, I believe.
So, being ambassador, what are your plans in future to add this cooperation or to take it to the next level, whether it comes to the cultural cooperation or people-to-people contact? How are you going to work on that? What's in your mind?
Now, yeah, we already have several initiatives. For example, we train regularly a group of diplomats in the Netherlands in an institute called Klingendaal, which the Pakistani diplomats really appreciate, because we bring diplomats together from across the globe.
Great.
And you learn from each other's skills.
True.
And for me, it's very nice because I meet Pakistani people who are saying, oh, I was in the Netherlands and I studied there. Or many people go also to Delft in the Netherlands, a technical university. They go to Wageningen, it's our agricultural university. So these exchanges create understandings, it create friendships,
True.
create a cultural exchange.
And sorry to cut you, but there was a time when we used to anxiously wait for Pakistan-Netherlands hockey match. We remember, but then there's, the time came, the Netherlands team is still like on top and we've been not so good.
No,
so,
I don't know. But yesterday I attended for a hockey event for children.
Okay.
So I really hope we can further work in that field as
But
well.
the thing is that
Amazing.
we are quite good in cricket, so I think we can have somehow exchange
No,
hockey and cricket somehow.
I really agree with that point. I would love to bring the Dutch cricket team, because it's not a very
Would love to host Dutch cricket team, by the way.
but could be so great to bring them to Pakistan,
Oh,
that
wow.
they learn from your cricket players And then perhaps in hockey we could do
We'd
a
love to
little bit
learn
vice
hockey
versa.
from the Dutch team for
that
sure.
would be lovely. So these are the things I'm really looking for.
That's amazing.
For me, it's not. It should not be a one-way street.
True.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
And we can learn from you. We can bring, the Netherlands can bring some things to Pakistan. So that's how I see it.
That's really great. So since we are just going to close our interview, I think this is your first television appearance in Pakistan,
it
and this
is.
is in our show in Expresso. How is the feeling? And you somehow opted Expresso to be. It's such an honor for us. Anything that you like to say in the end?
I really appreciate this opportunity. This is my first interview, like you were saying. I think I want to thank Expresso for doing that.
Thank you.
And like I said, I really hope it will contribute to further fostering these strong relations we have between Pakistan and the Netherlands. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time. It was an honor having you on
Thank
the
you
show.
very much.
Likewise, thank you.